Welcome, fellow armchair generals, to the First World War, or as it was called at the time, the Great War, at least some point there. I don't know, as I'm thinking, as I'm saying this, when it was called the Great War. Now, I have at least one book that calls it the Great War, and it was published well before World War II. I forget the name of it. It's over on my shelf over there. And whatnot. So, because they didn't call it World War One, thinking, because again it was the war to end all war. They weren't thinking that, hey, yeah, in about 20 years we're going to do this all over again, for another time. Once isn't enough. We need another one. So it wasn't the First World War then. It was eventually the Great War, but I don't know when that term comes into general use. So what I'd love if you guys know, post below, what was it called, and by who, and by when? You could throw in, if you want, like what the Germans called it in German, but I would appreciate, any sort of translation, what, and, was it the German versus, because we have like the Franco-Prussian War, or the Potato War, or whatever that things are called at different times, sort of while they were happening or whatnot. But they definitely didn't call it the First World War, and I don't know when the Great War started to be called that. Was it during the war? Was it after the war? In sort of general understanding, it's the idea, not when somebody called it that once, but when people understood, oh yeah, this is, the Kaiser's War, or I don't know, the war against Serbia, or whatever. I'd just love to know that. Well, along those lines, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for many more great history gaming videos, and me wondering about things. Okay, well, we are, and I'll tell you, the results will be a little different than the first time. I was reading the conditions of defeating Russia, which will be happening here, and whatnot, and it went too fast compared to my reading speeds at reading out loud. So I'm doing this again. So like I say, I know I will be defeating Bolshevik. Oh well, this is slightly different. Bolshevik inspired agitation against war spreads in Austria-Hungary. Okay. That's an event different than happened last time. Loss of Kiev reduces Russian morale. Okay, yes, here we can read this because this does take response. We have an opportunity to end the war in the East by signing a peace treaty with the Bolshevik government at Brest-Litovsk. The treaty won the creation of a number of new states. There will also be an economic benefit, as we can demand Russia pay 300 MPPs in compensation to the German investors who have lost their assets due to the war and revolution. Would you like to sign it? Yes. I haven't tried to know. I'm afraid that no might be sort of get what happened last time, just sort of a little bit of territory, nothing much. Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, Bolshevik Russia withdraws from the war. Ottoman Empire gains territory in the Caucasus. Caucasian Democratic Federative Republic is formed. Ukraine declares its independence. Bessarabia declares independence from Russia and votes to unite with Romania. Crimean People's Republic declares independence from Russia. Sounds like a Bolshevik type thing. Estonia declares independence from Russia. Latvia declares independence. Lithuania declares independence. Germany controls the administration of Polish Russia. Norway complains at Entente attacks on their merchantmen. That's good for us. Entente raiders disrupt German convoys. That's not good for us in that direct sense, but maybe in the long term. Progress on ground attack weapons. Okay, again, these are a bit different than last time. Scientist aerial warfare. Progress in command and control. And last time I don't think it rained. You know how much I love rain in this game. Okay, I could read a lot of this, but ensure, the key thing is ensure 6 units at all times kept within 8 hexes of Warsaw. Should keep 12 if you can, if possible, in the same radius, in 8 hexes of Warsaw to make sure that grain imports are coming from Ukraine. Now, my understanding, and again, it's more understanding than sure and certain knowledge or anything, that there was some level of puppet state for things like Ukraine, massive amounts of German occupation. One thing I recently read, about 1 million men, German, probably Austrian too, mix, were occupying elements of the Eastern Front. So that 6 to 12 units sounds about right for what's going on in occupation. But it wasn't, we'll see whether we move troops into the territory or anything, but it wasn't really much of a independent situation, whatever they declared. And I'm not disputing a declaration, more of a what is actual fact going, and some of those very much may be in Germany's interest, because they can declare independence and then I don't know, the rain may have helped me out there. Have them declare independence and make them sort of subject to German support for their independence, shall we say, or reliance on the Germans for their independence. And which may mean that they are not independent, or they are, but Germany might in the future decide that they're not so independent, you know, or Austria or whatever. French morale is affected by Russian defeat, British morale by Russian defeat. Paradise calls for the US, you're getting in a little late. Irish Easter rising against British rule. Yes, yes. Now, okay, Karl Liebknecht and Rosa Luxemburg make anti-war speeches at Berlin's May Day rally. Now, this is because I designed, if you don't know, and no, not all of you watch, an event mod for Hearts of Iron 3 and also 4. So I know about doing events. This is a bad event. Lenin calls on socialists meeting in Switzerland to transform the war into a class war. This is probably a very true historical fact. Why this is a bad event is that Lenin is, in this game, already in Russia and at least attempting to rule it. They should have a check to see if we had sent Lenin to Russia and or Russia has defeat, or has surrendered to not have that. I get and I support and I like the idea of historical flavor and giving historical depth to a game like Strategic Command, very much so. That is not what I in any way am questioning. It is just, you need to write. I haven't looked at the coding. I don't know what the coding is. It's like I have seen sometimes in a turn an event happen and sometimes not happen. Like the Merchant Marine thing for Norway, and that could just be because I guess maybe that they are out there this time. I don't know what, if, when we will be doing a... yeah, we'll put you into a port. Some of the weaker units to ports. Them up. Or rebuilt, or whatever you want to say about a ship. Repaired. Maintained, overhauled. Okay, so it's 6 or 12 units within 8 hexes of Warsaw. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think we have that, but they don't say what the hexes or hexes. They don't say what the units need to be. So we're going to presume that, did I say, yeah, 6 or 12 within 8. So we're going to presume some of these weaker detachments will be better. Now he's not a detachment, he's a corps, but we need to rebuild him. Will be a thing. Now we do have stuff. Okay, so I guess we're getting no look in, no I don't know if ability is the right term, but no occupation duties here. I guess we're just going to get MPP. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Guess we don't have to do anything here. I guess, I don't know. Move you up to there. We're going to see about getting marching some of you guys down. Figure moving the cores at least to deal with here, and maybe eventually even dealing with here. Looks like they made a brilliant mistake by sending in those horse units right there. But we'll keep one sort of garrison there. Okay. Now, hell, this is just all tiresome to me, kind of work, but yeah, that's going to take forever to get anywhere. Okay, well, first let's see what we can do down here in Greece. Okay, that looks like our best initial attack. So these guys can come down here. You know, we shelled a bunch last turn, but I don't think we're going to do that this turn. I knew there would be some troops down here. At least I figured there would be. See if this proper core can do better than it looks like it. Very good. I mean, yes, part of what we want to do here is to stop partisan revolts. I am obviously, we can look at diplomacy. I don't think Romania is coming into the war because it's allying to the to Russia, and Russia's not a thing anymore in the war, as it were. They're going through a civil war now. So I'm not really thinking we're going to see much coming from that way. Well, what's it going to cost? 20 MPP. We don't want to commit suicide to take that out. Well, they can just... I'm just considering... I'm probably going to make an episode after this. Strategically, what should we do? What should we do? You know, if you watched long enough here, I am a big fan of the indirect approach. That may actually be worth the attack. Well, we're going to move on. We're going to keep marching and burning and whatnot, looting and whatnot along here for now. I'm still looking forward to continuing the East Front first scenario, which is, this is sooner, as in the date time, than the other one. So this is interesting. I don't know if it's because of the Lenin thing, which I don't think it is, because I think this is like, wow. And it could come down to things like the weather in the different games. But if I remember correctly, the East Front first takes longer to take down Russia than it does on the West Front first. And I did sort of start the East Front first, so maybe there's a little bit of learning experience there. That could be a thing. Yeah, I don't know. But focusing on that and keeping this front very narrow on that game. So we're definitely in that sense in a better position now than we were, or than we are there. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, we can definitely use some more units along here. Maybe not huge numbers, but some more. So I think we're going to spend some on shifting west in rail cars, as it were. Looking for units that would be more useful than others. Maybe like full strength 18 MPP. Don't know how close to try to get these to the front between juggling other things. Well, let's hold off on all of that. Because they're not going to be helpful in this turn's offensive. So here. There we go. That's good. want that this is overly effective, but we will fire there. Okay. You swap out. Attack. So you swap out. You swap out. So we have the as upgraded as possible there. Now come down to here. You can fire there or there. Or there, yes, or there. Okay, one more turn of attacks before we start reinforcing you. Yeah, we should have done that first. Do we risk it? No. Okay, can you make it? Yes, you can make it to here. Oh, no more action points. Okay. I guess. Okay, and we're going to swap that out as well. Just because this point potentially has more attacking positions than this point here, so it'll be better to deal with an attack. Okay, well, yeah, I think that's good. Now they've moved back up in contact with me here. It's too far back. That's, well, I could hit there, but we need to shift you. Now, what we're going to do here is, as we sort of experimented last time, moving our line. Oh, damage, okay. Was going to be a bit costly of an attack. Now, what I'm going to see about doing here is, yes, use my capital ships. Hopefully with limited cost. Yeah, some cost, yes. To deal with that, that's good now. So I definitely want to clear out the Adriatic as much as possible. Okay, now down here. I think we can get these this time, this one here. You just sort of stay there, you come down to here. Well, we might come down to there. Well, that's looking a little better. That's looking a little better. That's not so good. That's pretty good. A little better than thought. Well, let's take this time to, because if I hadn't have damaged that so much, I think we would have been able to do that a little more effectively, at least more effectively, but not sure. Okay, we're going to go on a bit of an offensive here. I think I know my units aren't super well off, but I'm hoping they will be able to hold up. Oh, well, okay, let's do this. Oh, well, okay, yeah, that's fun. Next turn, hopefully we'll be able to. I think this problem is handled here now. So I want to invade Cyprus here. Well, if they come into Tripoli, great for them. We'll battle a British invasion if they do. If they do. Okay, well. What are my forces in the best? Okay, artillery. Artillery, well, we could upgrade them or we could operate to get them over to here. Not coming in contact as much as they had in the past. Let's, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna risk there. I know that that is a potentially problem. German forces. So I want to move a standard core there, but they only have 1 hex range. So that can shoot to here or to here. Maybe we pound Verdun. Maybe we pound Verdun. Well, let's, before we do more of that, let's max out what's here. It's sort of going to tell me how much I may want to spend on shifting forces now versus starting them marching. Yeah, they withdrew back to there. Time means an absolute lot in warfare. most assuredly, but we'll move at least one more corps here now. Still looking for one that is on the rails. Fairly strong. Okay. And if we're going to go after Verdun, we might use another corps there now as well. Okay. Whether this turn or next turn, but another one here. Pound in on them. Because we've sort of I've left Verdun alone because it's been unnecessary and it's well fortified, and we've been just attriting their forces considerably. Okay, well, let's start with these guys here. You might be decent anti-partisan type material. Well, Austria can do some of its duty to help occupy out here. We are helping occupy in Serbia and whatnot. Just don't know if I should even bother with keeping forces there. Right now, it's a bit of a, just a tight situation and getting forces to the front. But as soon as we can, we might be doing other sorts of invasions. Well, that went well, even with the loss, yes. Good. They've moved, yes. Okay, well, these guys up here are now useless being up here. They may be useful somewhere else, but because we no longer have an enemy in Russia that we're trying to blockade, but maybe we can attack their submarines. I don't know if submarines versus submarines is much of a thing in World War I. Okay, well, let's keep these guys along the rails because we may decide to rail shift them. Rail move them. Horses might become useful, but I think by that point, if we're really breaking out much, we're probably looking at France collapsing at this point. Okay, yeah. I think something like the mountain units might be a bit more useful. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I know there's well, but let's see about getting the Marines. We want things like these detachments, and maybe some of the cavalry can stay on this front too. I think headquarters would be more useful in the front than just occupation. Not certain about that, but okay, we'll get 12 units near Warsaw and figure those out, what they're going to be. Still not ready to upgrade any of these. Wait for another turn. This really is mostly just reconnaissance. There, hello. Really don't want to attack those in port. Maybe if we get naval bombers down there. And these guys, I think, are just going to continue sitting out here. Okay, production. Purchase. Germany, we're running out of possible types. Heavy bombers, dreadnought, destroyers. Same with Austria. And Turkey. Oh, well, artillery. 300, and we have 309. No, we're not buying artillery this turn. We may just wait a bit for that. I think research, we sort of already spent what we're going to spend for the immediate time. Okay, so, well, back to purchase, Austria, well, Bulgaria, okay, we've done all the detachments for Bulgaria and Austria. Don't know that another HQ would overly help much. I don't want to spend the money on it right now. Okay, I think we're going to save our MPP for whatever may be coming. Which may mean next turn we may shift more forces more rapidly. Yeah, okay, well, I think we're going to have time this episode to see what the Entente does. Fortunately, retreated back. Smart of them, but unfortunate. Okay, British are shocked by the Irish uprising. Serbia surrenders. Yeah, well, we took them out, and you probably have more partisans popping up if we don't occupy all your cities. Greek forces mobilized to defend Sparta. Conscription leads to industrial unrest in the Midlands. Yes, remember, Britain did not have a conscription until World War I. Germany, or France, I think, okay, scientists report infantry warfare progress for the Turks. Okay, France, had lots of super mass conscription during the Napoleonic Wars. Sweden, Austria, Treaty of Brest-Litovsk plus 100, 65 food supplies via neutral Netherlands, and 50 grain supplies from Ukraine. Okay, Very good. Very good. I think that the 300 we're gonna just get 300. I'm guessing in 3 turns, not a lump sum. I didn't know. Maybe that's going to be an ongoing thing too. I don't think, but don't know. We'll find out. Places in Germany, or the Holy Roman Empire, or whatever, did have some levels of conscription in the 18th century and whatnot, but Britain did have not impressment. That was supposedly not in actual fact, but supposedly just for sailors, civilian sailors, and they could only be impressed in both as a practical matter and as a sort of legal matter from the ports and the areas surrounding the ports, meaning they couldn't go inland to get people. Yes, yeah, it's sort of right there, but you'll be able to take that one out. Good, artillery breaking up. Good, good, good. They might survive. Nope. Doesn't look like it. Yep. Okay, well, we lost a core down there. And yeah, I was worried about that. Hopefully they won't kill the thing. I'll take my punishment and need to replace it if I have to. Or I mean, not replace it, but reinforce it or send replacements in. Just what happened up there next to Verdun is what I've sort of been worried about happening. By pressing in and that give them a chance to counterattack. I still may do my offensive on Verdun, it just may not be as effective or a one-turn thing without that unit there. I don't know. Bolshevik agitations against the war spreads to Austria-Hungary. Conscription leads to industrial arrest in Clydeside dockyards. Yes, we lost a corps. And we have a bunch more detachments. Yay. Hey, Warsaw, there's one of your detachments. Okay, that with all those detachments is what we're going to, including some of the ones that were already here, going to try to keep our 12 units within distance of 8 hexes of Warsaw and move even these badly beat up corps somewhere else and reinforce them. But on that note, we're going to end the episode. I want to thank you so much for watching if you made it to this point, and love to hear your comments. See you next time for more historical gaming. And click.